on this episode of Taskforce Geek, we react to the MCU's first Shang-Chi teaser trailer. We ask if Chadwick Boseman, his character T'Challa, should be recast. We'll give a review of the game The Few and the Cursed. And if we have time, we'll talk about a Batman rumor that actually came true. And that's all coming up now. Welcome to Task Force Geek. My name is Dirk Cooper, and today I am joined by Scott.
Howdy!
And Walt.
What's up, everyone?
And our guest, Jen. How you doing, Jen?
Hey, doing well, thank you.
All right, Scott. Here it is. Tell us who Jen is.
Jen is one of my best friends. We play board games together. We go see movies together. We enjoy comic books together. What else do we like to go travel together? We've played Blood Bowl tournaments together in events where we both won some awards. So she's overall just kind of my go-to person to hang out and do things. And every now and then, she likes to make out with me too. So she's my girlfriend.
About to say you're burying the lead, man.
Yeah. I think saying Jen Prime on there is already, kind of gives it away there.
I think it does. But might as well put it out there. Let's say, hey, where's our share team? If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, which is the three places that we are broadcasting tonight, then please share this broadcast to your platform so your platform becomes our platform. Also, I'd like to invite you all to join the conversation by giving us your comments on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. We're live, which means that you're live too. What do you think?
It's all the way live.
We have already some comments, as per usual. I asked for comments, and here it is. Gigi says, stellar performance, Mr.
That guy.
I wish that meant something more than me just introducing everyone.
You think he sits
Thanks,
around
everyone. Bye-bye.
waiting for like 10 seconds? He clips that in and then he runs away.
He's first, and he's first often. Although he missed last week, which was the Bonkers Choctaw episode. For some reason, he missed that one of all the episodes. Anyway, here's Ronnie says hi. Brendan, how you doing, man?
Hey, Brendan.
Says,
Hey, Brendan.
Nana, Batman. And then, Jen is here. How about that? See, surprise.
Hi, Brendan.
Surprise. Ronnie has noticed that there is another lady.
Hi, Ronnie.
And Jim has joined us. Hey, howdy, guys, and Jim.
Hey.
Jim, I thought
Hi,
you
Jim.
wanted to see us on YouTube. You're clearly on Facebook. What the heck is going on with you, man?
Yeah, Jim hasn't been here in a while.
He hadn't been here in a while because he
That's
said,
all right. Then don't run him off.
Hey, Steve.
I want
Don't
to
run
see
him
you
off.
on YouTube. And now here he is on Facebook. It's like we're broadcasting on YouTube. Anyway.
I want to see Jim on this show.
Steve?
That's what I want to see.
I do too, and he's been asked on multiple occasions.
All right,
But,
Jim, I'm asking you. You're watching live, so Jim Lane, you need to be on this show at some point in the next couple of weeks. So let's make that happen.
If Scott can be on, you can be on, okay? Steve says hi.
Howdy, Steve.
He says he's been on here more often than you think. I just don't make a whole lot of comments.
That's okay. Good lurkers are good, man.
That's all right. We'll take it. We will
sure.
take it. All right, let's see. I am going to go to our first deal, and here it comes. Man, I wish that StreamYard would allow. Hey, note to the people who do StreamYard, please allow me to order these, video things, please, so that I can put them in a particular order. It makes it a lot easier. It's not a grab bag. Anyway,
That's true.
Man, that would help. It would help because now I have a bunch of these doggone things. Hey, what we're going to talk about is an action red alert, Shang-Chi teaser trailer. We finally got it. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we finally got it. And yeah, guess what? I've got an actual. Hopefully, we don't get kicked off the air for this. I'm going to show a few moments of the trailer.
Hello.
You can't outrun who you really are.
Pretty exciting.
I need a cigarette.
Oh,
Action packed.
By the way, I don't smoke, so
Has everyone seen the trailer before
yes.
I go to someone? All right.
Yes.
Scott, I'm going to go to you first, sir. Just
Okay,
tell us what you think.
first off, I say that every comic book fan that's like read comics in the last 40 years or 30 years, you should be like praising the comic gods.
Oh, man.
Because I would have told you in like 1985 or 1995 or 2005 that remember that comic Master of Kung Fu? You know, The
yeah.
Hands of Shang-Chi, Master
Right.
of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
The comic that started, I think, in 1974 and went to like 1984 when
Yep.
it ran 125 issues. His father was Fu Manchu that Marvel licensed out because they didn't own the rights to the character
Yeah.
Fu Manchu. And the fact that we have this movie is pretty incredible. And we know it's just not like all these other superhero things where it's just like, oh, we picked this up, we're going to do one movie and move on, because it's part of the Marvel Universe and they've interlocked everything up to this point. So this is going to be part of the bigger picture one way or the other, even if it's a small piece, you know. So that's pretty incredible. Now, I've read recently Marvel's been kind of shooting out some Shang-Chi stuff. He's joined the Avengers over the last, and you know how you read comics and you think it just happened last year and it really happened 8 years ago. So I'm just going to say within the last 10 years, he's been around, more active. He's been a member of the Avengers. Just recently, he had like a 6-issue or 5-issue miniseries. I read those. They're definitely trying to establish his new retconned origin because they don't own the rights to the character Fu Manchu. And for those people out there who are young and think it's a hairstyle and stuff, no, it was a pulp, like hero character or villain. I think it was back in the old pulp days of, you know, those type of characters. So they're retconning all that stuff. Still pretty good. He had a one-shot after that miniseries, and I think he's about to start a new miniseries as well. With all that said, there was nothing in the trailer that excited me, and I know, you know, I'm going to be yin to Walt Yang because I know like he's ready for a cigarette. And to be truthful, I didn't need to see anything because I was ready to go see this movie either way, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. There's rumors that we might see the Mandarin in this, which I hope is true with the whole thing with the 10 rings, you know, in the title and stuff. So I was excited before. I kind of just didn't need to see this, so it was just so to me.
Jury says hello. And
Hello,
Howdy.
Jury.
Sean, who decided to take the week off, has chimed in and says, "Good day, my friends. Looking good
Hey,
today.
Sean.
Welcome
Of course,
to our show.
of course,
family."
Sean. She's always looking good.
Thanks, Sean.
He's watching us on YouTube.
That's cool.
That's the place to see.
Sean's put in a lot of hard work, so he deserves a
He
Tuesday
did
off.
52 shows in a row.
Yeah.
He needs
He's
a
the
little
only
vacation.
person that's been on every one of them. So,
And I
he took-
think
he took a
Walt
week
has
off.
subbed in for all of us now. Is that right?
Yeah,
No.
I have. I've subbed in. I
When
subbed in for
Dirk missed an episode, you came in. Yeah. So
Yeah. I've subbed for everybody.
you are the Legion of Substitute Hero, not the heroes. You're always there for us, Walt.
All right. Next, I'm going to go to Jen. What do you think, Jen?
Well, I know nothing about this character
Okay.
going into it, but I really liked the trailer. It was action-packed. So I'm sure Scott and I will go see it. There was one point where one of the little ninja guys comes out, and I happened to think it looked like a ninja that's on the Zelda Breath of the Wild video game. So I had to look at it to compare what they look like, and then I was like, it looks nothing like what I was
maybe it
thinking.
a crossover.
But, yeah, well, I mean, just the ninja guy. So
Right.
I had to look that up. But I mean, I think it looks really good. So I'll go see it with Scott.
Cool. You know, you just mentioned something that I wanted to point out. We have Jen to thank for getting Scott to go to movies and watch television shows, because if she wasn't around, I mean, you know,
I'd watch even less.
Scott would like play games by himself or something. I don't know what he would do. You know,
I got peeps that'll play games with me. Come on now. I'm not gonna sit around and watch.
He would recruit his children to play games or whatever. But you know,
he does.
So thank you, Jen, for forcing him to spend 30 to 45 minutes
or an hour
watching a TV
episodes
show.
Of a show.
Falcon Winter Soldier last episode was an hour.
Oh, that was
oh my
really
God.
a slog. That was a slog, man.
That was tough for him, but he made it. He powered through.
How about that 4-hour Snyder cut there?
No. Now I will admit that was a beating for me.
That was a beating for most people. All right, what do you think?
I'm excited for this, and as far as the Mandarin, I don't know if you noticed how they've changed the 10 rings of the Mandarin. They're bracelets now,
right?
Which I think personally is much cooler.
He's upgraded his
for
jewelry.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and in fact, it makes me think of Kung Fu Hustle.
Right.
That one character that had the rings, right? And which I thought was pretty cool. So, but yeah, I'm really excited about this because we finally get to see the real 10 rings, or whatever, the Order of the 10 Rings or whatever it's called. We finally get to see that. Just the fact that they decided, hey, let's do Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. You
think that's pretty cool?
I think that's pretty cool, especially, since before it was even on the radar, when you think back, or when I think back, they've been preparing us for a Shang-Chi movie.
Sure.
When he joined the Avengers in the comics, and he's basically special trainer for the Avengers. There's a whole issue dedicated to him training Spider-Man.
Oh, that's interesting.
In the art of Kung Fu, and they put a power dampener on Peter Parker, and Shang-Chi trains Peter Parker in Kung Fu on how not to just rely on his spider sense. Cool. So
that was in the comics.
That was in I think it was either an Avengers comic or a Spider-Man comic. But yeah, if you Google Shang-Chi trains Peter Parker, there's a whole series of pages where Shang-Chi is training Peter Parker on how to fight without using his spider senses and his spider powers. So
that's pretty cool. I like that.
I love that concept. I would love to see that done on the big screen or on the small screen with live action. I would love to see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I knew Shang-Chi as the master of Kung Fu back in the late 70s and 80s. I was a big Marvel fan around that time. He looked just like Bruce Lee at the time, right? Mm-hmm. He hung out with Iron Man and Iron Fist and Power Man. He was part of that crowd and stuff, which, I mean, I really like that crowd, so I thought that was pretty cool. This thing looks like a Chinese action movie to me. I mean, it's like they went full on Chinese action movie here. I think that is a large part of their target audience. Marvel would very much like to, own the Chinese movie audience, and this is a good way to bring all of those wonderful viewers into the MCU. Let's also not dismiss the fact that this is, something that's probably going to play quite well in North America. We like our martial arts films and stuff. It's gonna expand, the diversity of the MCU. It's pretty smart all the way around, I think.
I agree with that because the last, I want to say 3 years or so, they've been really trying to kind of give some heroes. I say this in I don't know how the politically right way to say it, but they've created some Asian characters for the Asian market, like some Korean superheroes and stuff like that. And there's a super team. I don't remember specifically to which country in Asia, but there's in that area, they've been having some books out there, and they even had some, Asian people write this and that too, to try to get a feel and, try to capture that giant audience,
I mean, the diversity, I have a few more things to say about this, but the diversity, the Marvel Cinematic Universe stems from the Marvel comic universe. And that started with Stan Lee. Stan Lee absolutely believed in diversity and wanted to expand the look of the heroes in that universe. And look no further than the X-Men, who were very instrumental in expanding that out. So anyway, I think this is just yet. I mean, Eternals are going to do. I mean, Eternals is really going to blow everything open. Eternals is going to have. It's going to be a melange of different flavors.
The other thing about that diversity is you can tell with all the different Marvel movies that there's a specific genre that they're trying to hit, and this is definitely Hong Kong cinema with this movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, all of the kind of magical elements from
Doctor Strange,
Chinese.
Oh yeah.
Chinese style, fantasy martial arts movies. I mean, it plays really well with the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
They can explain away all of that sort of stuff with just superpowers and whatever. It's no different than, the movies that are already being made in China. It's just, this is going to be rolled in with that universe. It's the same thing that you get with Black Panther that we're going to be talking about soon.
It's a smart move.
The Eternals, and it just expands it truly makes a worldwide audience for your stuff. Let me mention also that the character, the bad guy here, who's going to be Shang-Chi's father, who was Fu Manchu, is going to be called Wenwu, played by Tony Leung. He's replacing Fu Manchu from the original comics. That's a problem because they don't own that. And that character will also be melded with what we knew as the Mandarin. We got a little taste of that character, disappointing taste of that character in Iron Man 3 when he was played by Ben Kingsley, but as it turned out, he wasn't really the Mandarin. He was an actor portraying the Mandarin or whatever. But apparently that's what this character is. We're going to see the rings again. Yes, he's upgraded from like rings on his fingers to bracelets or whatever. I think that's cool. I've always enjoyed that character. I've enjoyed that storyline. It's too bad that Iron Man's not around anymore because that was a big recurring villain for that character. But a perfect villain here in this case for the hero. We're going back to Wakanda. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think you saw that in the scenes there. So once again, we're world building. We're going around the world here. I like Awkwafina.
So do I.
She's taken some heat. Like I guess everyone is going to take some heat for some stupid thing. Some people are upset for some reason that she was cast. I don't know what all that's about, but I like her, so whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see this evolution of the MCU. And like Scott said, what a thought back in the 70s.
I mean, we would have said that years ago for Ant-Man, right?
Yeah.
We'd both all sit here and go, can you believe we're
Certainly.
getting an Ant-Man movie? You
Certainly.
should praise the comic gods. And now we get Shang-Chi. All these comics that we should have held on to are not going to be worth $1 million because
First
we got rid
appearance
of them.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing that Master of Kung Fu, the comic, was around for a decade?
Yeah.
What?
125 issues.
That's incredible.
Just
That's incredible.
Last time we were in Missouri, me and Jen, I bought issue 100 of Shang-Chi Master Kung Fu just because I liked the cover and stuff, and here we are.
Yeah. I see the whinging on Quora where they're like, oh no, we're past the A and B level Marvel characters, and they just keep introducing these C and D level characters, and it's like, guys, I got bad news for you.
Right.
Iron Man and Thor and Captain America were B and C level Marvel characters.
Right.
Your A level characters was Spider-Man and Hulk and the X-Men.
Yeah.
I mean, those were your A level characters.
You could kind of say Captain America.
I mean, people knew who they were, but they were they're the B League.
Right.
They made them the A League because it was so good. They made hundreds of millions of dollars on a film with a talking tree. Okay?
Yeah. Right.
This is what Marvel does.
That only said 3 words.
Yes.
And really, that version of Groot's only been around for about 15 years.
Exactly.
That was during the Abnett Lanning series before Groot was a big giant monster in like the horror comics back in the 60s. So
this is what Marvel does. Marvel takes these characters that have, I mean, Shang-Chi has 10 years of stories to tell, not to mention what's come after that, which has been quite a bit of stuff.
Oh yeah, and the groups he's been a part of. I mean, like now he's a member of the Avengers.
I think it was Heroes for Hire for a little while.
He was with Heroes for Hire. I mean, side partner with Iron Fist and Power Man. So, Luke Cage. That is, excuse me, Luke Cage.
Hello to Corey.
Hey, Corey.
He says, excellent series. I have most of it. There you go. It's good stuff. Clearly it did okay.
Yeah.
If it was around for 10 years. I mean, not everything survived for 10 years. Even though, comics were doing pretty good at the time. He says, also, nearly any character can be an A-level character with the right creative team, of course.
Right.
Wolverine was a throwaway Hulk antagonist. Exactly.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Here's why I didn't need to see the trailer. Marvel hasn't gave me a crappy movie yet.
I agree.
Right.
And the original 3 X-Men movies that came out, was that Sony? Am I saying that right? Fox. They gave me 2.5 duds. So, like, I wasn't satisfied with anything. Every Marvel movie, even the bad ones, are pretty good. They're not bad. They're C pluses or better. And man, those X-Men movies were trash. And I don't care what anybody says. Those were some of the dumbest plots ever. Ugh. Don't get me started on that.
It's not easy. I mean, look at what DC is doing.
Right.
Look at the Valiant movies that we've had. Look at the X-Men movies. Look at look at the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, those last Fantastic Four movies.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Good Lord, the Fantastic Four movies were really super abysmal. Although Scott does like the second Fantastic Four movie.
I do.
I like bits and pieces of both, but on the whole, but I will say this: those first 2 compared to that third one, the Josh Trank movie, I will watch those 2 over the Josh Trank movie any day.
For sure. I mean, at least they were. At least they liked the characters.
I never saw the third one.
Good. I envy you.
You didn't miss anything.
I totally envy you.
It was really an embarrassment to everyone involved.
Yeah.
And has kept the Fantastic Four away from movies ever since. I said that they should shelve it for 20 years. It's going to be about 10 that they're going to shelve it before Marvel brings it back. All right, we're going to move on to the next subject. get everyone's opinion on this subject. There is a change.org petition that's going around right now, and here is what it says. Here's part of what it says. It says, quote, after the tragic passing of an American hero, the late great Chadwick Boseman, there's been this renewed push to write off and replace the iconic character of T'Challa that Chad so willingly, diligently, and wholeheartedly investing so much of his remaining years on Earth to bring to the big screen for young boys, especially black boys, who didn't have a superhero. I find this urge to write off this character in honor of Chadwick to be misplaced and problematic. Again, this is from the Change.org petition. The Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't ending anytime soon, so to write off T'Challa would effectively mean no T'Challa for the next 15 years. Everything Chadwick did to drag the first black superhero in comic book history to mainstream prominence would end with Chadwick's own death, and millions of black boys, would be left with neither. As the great Angela Bassett said about Boseman, quote, everything you had, Chadwick, you gave freely, unquote. Chadwick would give T'Challa freely to the next actor to finish the job, unquote. You know, I think that this makes an interesting discussion. It's out there. You know, we haven't talked much about this. I know we mentioned it when he passed. I think mostly we were stunned. But the reality is that he's no longer with us. And the recent Falcon and the Winter Soldier mentions the King. So he's still alive in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The question is, you know, I think that the decision has already been made, whatever it is that they're going to do. I don't think this change.org petition is going to make any difference whatsoever. But I think that it's an interesting thing to explore. My gosh, where did all these comments come from?
Don't even play a lot of them. We made we made it big time because what we're getting spammed right now, everybody, with all these like ad comments. So we made it big time that the spammers are coming after us now.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We're getting too many views now, so they're trying to spam us. And you want to become famous? Click on this link.
Right. and it's interesting. They're different posters, but they're the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So yeah, just don't worry about that.
All right.
You made it when you get spam mail.
Just be sure to look at them really closely because there are some actual comments in there. So
okay, I will go through it, but first I'm going to go to you, Walt. I'm going to let you lead on this.
You know, when Chadwick, when Chadwick died, I said back then, I was like, you know, I would like to see them replace him. I said, but it's going to be hard to replace him. And whoever they get to replace him, nobody is going to be satisfied with. And I would like to see them replace him. And really? then on the other hand, I wouldn't like to see them replace him. So it's one of those things, you know, I wouldn't be upset if they did replace him, and I wouldn't be upset if they didn't replace him.
You're okay with them recasting the character?
I'm okay with whatever they decide
to get more T'Challa stories.
To get more T'Challa stories, I would be fine with that. If they want to go with Shuri as the next ruler of Wakanda, I'm fine with that too, because that's something that has happened in the comics. So whatever decision Marvel decides to do, I'm game. Right. I'm game for it. It's just that, you know, like I said, if they do replace Chadwick with another actor, those people aren't going to be satisfied. I mean, like me, I won't. I don't care, you know. And I said this before. Whoever they get, I would be very happy for whoever gets the role. I just feel sorry for him that the fans, a lot of the fans, I would say it would be 50-50. 50% of them would hate him for it. They would be.
It's going to be like putting someone else with the Captain America shield. You're going to have a lot of blowback on that.
Yeah. And you know, and the whole Captain America thing was like, that was totally unnecessary. That hate that went into that for the actor, that was totally unnecessary. So I could kind of see it with
People are stupid.
What the hell
with
is
replacing
wrong with
Chadwick.
people, man?
Yeah,
Just relax.
just relax.
Watch the story. Watch the.
Just watch the story,
folks. It's okay.
I mean, just think if they hadn't decided to kill off Iron Man, and they had kept Iron Man movies going on and on and on forever, like the James Bond movies, they would eventually replace Robert Downey Jr. for somebody younger. So,
I mean, that's why he went out when it was, functional.
So
storytelling wise,
like I said, I mean, how many people have we had to play Bruce Banner?
Right. They recast him. And I like where they went with him. I like him. I like him better.
War Machine.
Also a good point. He was recast.
He was recast,
and I like him better.
Yeah. So
yeah. It's just a different take on it,
Yeah. If they decide to do it, good luck to whoever gets the role. I'll be jealous because I think it should be me. But and I say that because it would give me an excuse to bulk up.
Do you have someone in mind?
I
got a choice.
I think we both share the same choice, and that would be what's his name from Tenet?
John David Washington. Yep.
Yeah. So
he's got the chops, man.
He's got the chops.
He's got the, whatever. He's got the air of, someone who's in charge. Okay, let's see. Ashell says hello to Jen.
Hi, Ashell.
You're getting all the attention.
All my friends are on here.
Rodney noticed we had a girl. You guys have a girl.
There's been girls on here before.
Yes, there has. Brendan says, I want Dr. Doom back. So do I. I'm more excited about Dr. Doom than I am about Fantastic Four.
I want the true Dr. Doom. You are correct.
The real Dr.
Doom.
All of these stupid comments. What the nuts?
Yeah. Welcome to Twitch.
Sean says, is that the same thing before, or is he on a different account?
He's on a different account. Just relax. Just go with it, bro.
What's going on with you, man? Sean says, nope. He's not having it.
Not surprised by that answer.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that either.
No recast.
I'm not surprised by that either.
Ashell says that she's all for the recasting so that the story can continue. Corey would like to see Shuri given a chance before bringing back T'Challa. So there you go. All right, I'm going to Jen next. What do you think, Jen?
I'm torn on this because I would love him to be recast. I think there's way more story to tell. I think even if they recast him and Shuri has a chance, that would be good. But I also know that people are going to be mad.
Yeah, there's going to be blowback. No matter what you do.
Yeah, people are going to be mad no matter what. But I would say give it a chance. People are recast in shows and movies all the time. All the time.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, seasons between TV shows, you get a different mom in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean,
it goes back to what, Bewitched or whatever, where she changed
yes.
husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always recast actors.
Right.
It's going to happen. So
let's not get into American daytime drama. So,
oh my Lord.
While I understand wanting to honor him and that character, I think there's enough story to go on that they probably need to recast him.
All right. Scott, what do you think?
So, I think you can do everything here because it's comic books. And so let's take a step back further because I don't remember what I said the last time we talked about this. But back when they did the Infinity Gauntlet stuff, I said that was their opportunity to recast people right then. Sure. Some people fade away. They make everything go back and they notice like Tony Stark looks younger, but he's Tony Stark because he has everything in him that says it's Tony Stark. And maybe even the heroes at the time wouldn't even notice the change because their reality got changed, twice. So I said this back then, if the guy playing Captain America really wanted out forever, recast him right then. They snap him back in, he's recast. Now, here's what you could do. And this is what I would do. They have enough CGI. We've seen Grand Moff Tarkin in there, Peter Cushing again. So we can see Chadwick Boseman again. In the next movie, I would have something like the guy gets captured or something like this. He's gone for a movie. Let Shuri have her moment as being the Black Panther. And then they rescue this guy, and when he comes back, he's just a different actor. Or he gets jacked up, and they recreate the best they can, and he's a little bit different, but he's the same guy inside.
Yeah.
I don't want to...
That's very soap opera.
I'm pretty sure there's... our friend Robert all the time says he gets tired of like white people telling him what he should be offended of. So... I don't want to come across like this.
That's so true.
But I feel like Chadwick Boseman was a guy who was a hero to not only black little boys and girls, but to my children. I mean, you asked them probably their favorite character in the Marvel stuff. I mean, my daughter has a Wakanda poster, in her room, and she picked that one out of all the other ones she could have.
And a T-shirt.
So
inspirational. And a T-shirt. She wears a T-shirt to junior high.
Hey, at the last convention I went to, there was this little white kid who was running around in his Black Panther costume, and I saw him in his costume. I walked up to him, and I gave him a fist pound. I was like, I like your choice of costume, and he smiled, and he ran off doing his little, Wakanda Forever, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Well, and here's the deal. With a lot of characters, comic book characters, to me, people like what they like. So if it's a good character, they love it. Because what's funny is like, let's go back to Green Lantern. My favorite Green Lantern was John Stewart, which is known as the Black or African-American Green Lantern. But you don't know how many...
My favorite too.
10 to 20 black guys that I've met who love Green Lantern, and Hal Jordan is their man.
Right.
And that's okay too, because both of those are great heroes. Like in the comics, they're good people, and you like what you like. So... I think Chadwick Boseman would be happy to give another actor the opportunity to play a heroic character. And you're going to have to do this at some point, or you're going to have to retcon the whole universe and start over. And you know what? I'd rather than just tell stories like the same comics I've read since the 60s. We just keep going with the storyline. Yeah, I know, and I'm going to be, 60 years old, and they're going to cast another new Spider-Man, and I'm just going to have to accept it. And if I don't have to watch it. We're kind of spoiled. I mean, we have a lot of good superhero content, and I think you can do both. You could also have him off screen get killed by a major villain, and that would make everybody in the Marvel Universe really mad because we really love that character. So there's a lot of different ways they can go. I, for once, usually I'm all about like, let's kill off a hero every now and then because it seems more realistic. But I wouldn't mind him coming back.
Make the MCU Game of Thrones.
I'm saying every now and then. I don't want it like Walking Dead. But the biggest thing in comics is, you have a crossover and somebody dies and everybody cries and they boo-hoo. And I'm like, if I lived in that world, I want one hero to go like, dude, this has happened like 50 times. and they always come back. I don't even care. And they go like, why aren't you crying, Professor X? And he'd be like, well, why would I cry? Everybody comes back in the comics.
Yeah. It's not his first time dying.
Exactly. But I think you're missing out on you could have both. You could have Shuri as the big leader. And then I think you could bring a new T'Challa back or whatever. I mean, there's several routes to go. The decision's already made, so it doesn't really even matter. I promise you, they're not sitting around going, we'll put a pin in this and talk about this later.
No,
they already know.
They're definitely not waiting to hear what our opinion is.
And I hope that they... How great would it be the villain that looks like he captured or killed off T'Challa? Shuri takes over. We get a little bit of Doctor Doom. It's funny that Brendan mentioned it because I was going to mention that. as a big bad guy that you could make and have a big explosion. But plastic surgery and stuff happens all the time. And I'm mad that Terrence Howard didn't come back to play Rhodey. So but I've accepted the new guy, whatever.
Oh, and by the way, I'm a Kyle Rayner.
See?
Green Lantern guy. Because he's an artist. So,
I got you.
I was just going to say that they're not going to get rid of, retcon the whole thing. There's too many great actors and actresses that are still in that movie franchise. They're not going to get rid of them.
No, I hope
definitely not going to wipe the clean.
There's no way. No. They can't get rid of all those great people.
Again, Marvel hasn't had a crappy movie. There might be a movie you don't like, but there's nothing like the first X-Men movie that you go, really? This is what Magneto's doing. He's going to turn everybody into mutants and then make fun of them, just like he was made fun of from his gyroscope. This is our plot. Get out of here. My big plan will be to turn everybody into mutants and make fun of them in my gyroscope. Yeah, you're an evil villain. Get out of here.
All right. Well, my thoughts on this subject is that it's a shame to not get those stories. You have a character who has been around for literally 40 or 50 years. There's a lot of stories to tell with this character. I think that Chadwick Boseman is hard to replace, however. I think that he nailed this role in ways that, you can't even quantify. The way that he spoke the language, his air of authority, the way that he portrayed being a good man, like someone to look up to and stuff. It's not easy to pull that off. He really nailed it. As it turns out, he was a good guy in real life too, which, that probably helped on that regard. The MCU has shown many times that what they will do is they can take these stories and they can tell them in many different ways. Stories that were created for one character get gifted to other characters. So they could definitely tell the same stories even if they don't have T'Challa in this thing. I said a long time ago, who was I can't remember the actor's name. Who was the bad guy in the first film?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. It's a shame that they killed him off.
Oh, I'm so glad. I hated that character.
All right. But it's a shame that they killed him off.
He's a great actor, though.
He's a great actor.
He is a good
actor. I loved him as a villain because he's yet another case where you can sympathize with the villain. You see where the guy's coming from. I think that, we talk about, changing the look of characters and stuff. Since we're entering the multiverse of madness soon, it's entirely possible that we grab that character from another dimension and plop him into the deal, and then you get the T'Challa stories through that character. And
Sean brings up a great point.
I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
Hang on. I think you run the risk of taking away a singular performance by Chadwick Boseman by recasting him and pretending like, we're just going to go on from here. I feel like these stories can still be told. I would be perfectly fine. I've already given you my choice for who can play the character. If they do, I won't be mad. But I kind of have different. I'm conflicted on whether they should have that character, just recast and go on like nothing happened. One way or another, they're going to have to address the fact that Chadwick Boseman is not that character, though. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how you do that. You can do it off screen. I don't know. Like with Princess Leia, they used old footage. I don't know if they have old footage of this character. Also, I'd like to say that you're going to get a what if story with Chadwick Boseman. You're going to get a story with him there. So his stories are not over. I think the three of you need to go sign that change.org deal. It needs some help. It's not, they probably need about 1 million signatures on that to get Kevin Feige's attention. Jim says the Black Panther is too good of a character not to recast him. It will piss off some people, but you're gonna. What we've said, you're going to piss off people no matter what you do.
If this helps people, if you read the comics, you might read a story and it's drawn by a guy a certain way, and then a year later they replace the artist and he's drawn just slightly different. Yeah. Just accept that in here. Just accept that.
I mean, look.
The Marvel movies haven't given you a turd.
Audiences know that Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us. It's not like they fired him, So I think that people will give that actor a break, but I don't know. People are upset about every damn thing. All right, let's get to Sean's comment because I'm going to use it to talk about something else for a second. The upcoming Secret Invasion will be where they recast characters. Yeah, this Secret Invasion is a deal where we find out that some of the people that we've known for a while were actually Skrulls. And so the characters that we got used to might not look.
They did this in the comics. Mm-hmm. They used this as the be all end all to we'll make that character come back, or we'll turn that guy evil, and then everything that happened that last 15 years, we're just gonna act like that was a Skrull.
It's
doing all that.
It's it and the Multiverse of Madness is a redo on everything. I mean,
I'm gonna
literally justify anything with those two plots.
Steve Campbell, my podcast co-host, about a year to 2 years before Secret Invasion happened, we were talking about all the goofy stuff happening in Marvel at the time, and Steve goes, "I bet they're all just Skrulls in disguise, and they're just gonna use that as an easy excuse." And he was dead right. I couldn't believe that. He was so happy when that happened.
Right. What I wanted to mention, since he mentioned Secret Invasion, we got breaking news today that what's her name from Game of Thrones?
Emilia Clarke.
Yes.
Emilia Clarke has been cast for the Secret Invasion television series.
Jen's excited.
I love her.
Do you have any guesses on who she's going to play?
Somebody mentioned, and it might have been Corey in the group, that said Spider-Woman. That would be a good choice.
Guess. That's my choice.
That was my guess because she was a major part of that comic book deal, and she doesn't exist in the Marvel universe yet.
There was a big queen, and I can't remember the name because this story's 15 years old or so. But there was a big queen, like a Skrull queen, that I could see her playing too, like a shapeshifter stuff. But I
said that they have the main villain, although she could be a side villain, I guess. But it seems like she's been a queen.
Of dragons.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. That Skrull queen was
the Miss Marvel, right?
No, she was disguised as
Spider-Woman. Okay, yeah, okay.
There you go.
It's been a while since I read it. And all these actor stuff that we mentioned, I wanted to just point out one last thing. They recast Harrison Ford as Han Solo. We never in a million years thought they would do that for Solo, right? Mm-hmm. And we didn't not like Solo because the guy did a bad job acting. There was other reasons why we thought the movie was so-so.
No,
so everybody relaxed.
That movie.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
I enjoyed that movie, and I thought he did a good job as a young version of that character.
Yeah. Same here.
But that was also a case where, Harrison Ford had aged out of that
role.
Of the character.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
You can't. I mean, I guess you could de-age him for the entire film, but that would be weird and expensive.
We'll save that conversation for the Batman part.
Right? Yeah, we got something very similar to that as well.
Speaking of using special effects to de-age somebody, the Netflix exclusive.
I would like that too.
The Pee Wee Herman Netflix exclusive. I
can't look younger.
They totally used most of the money spent for that movie was used to de-age Paul Rubens in that movie. The special effects to make him look younger. So
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Ronnie's got a comment here for us. Just bring it back like the soap operas do it.
Hey.
He does and comes back with a patch.
There you go.
He does again, and he comes back with 2 patches.
There you go.
Oh my Lord. Okay, we're gonna get on to the next subject here. Here we go. Hey, I'm gonna hand this over because I don't know anything about this.
Uh-oh.
You cats played The Few and the Cursed
Oh, okay.
here over the last few days, and by special request, we're going to cover that. So, Jen, you want to take this one?
I mean, I can start it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, tell us what this game is and how you were introduced to it, and what do you think about it?
Well, Scott went on a boys' weekend. He talked about it last week, where they played a bunch of games. And one of the games he played was The Few and the Cursed. And he thought that I would like it. So he came back and he went out and bought it. And over the weekend, we set it up. We had Gary over. He was on last week.
Yeah.
And the 3 of us played this.
He was part of the reason I couldn't stop laughing.
So basically it is a game that kind of has these cowboy people kind of in the West. I guess they're actually in the Pacific Ocean that has dried up in the future. And there's zombies and different things that happen. So, Scott, I'll let you continue.
Okay.
All right. I think, Scott, are you asking for me to put you in a 2-shot? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
You
Yeah, I
don't
can't.
know if you
I
can do
can't
that. Okay.
That. Yep, can't do
All
that.
right. So here,
I wish I could. That'd be awesome. But
so just so everybody knows where we're coming from on this, like Jen said, I played this over the boys' weekend. Me and Jen collectively probably for sure have over 100 board games. Probably I don't want to count because it's probably closer to 200, but every now and then we clear them out and sell them off, the ones we don't play. So anyways, let's not worry about that. We play a lot of board games. So this game is called The Few and the Cursed. This is the art for the cover.
that's pretty cool.
That's some good artwork.
So this game is, from what I know, is based off
That character looks a lot like a
character you know,
that
right?
I know.
So when I want to describe this board game to people, I want to say it's Demon Town in a box, and then everybody's like, "What's Demon Town?" And then
Right.
then I had to tell them it's a short story from an independent comic from 25 years ago, and then "Oh, okay." From what I know, this is based off the comic book. I think it was a Kickstarter comic book called The Few and the Cursed. I think it's been around long enough, evidently, to get a board game. I believe let me see if I get the right people here. This is made by Rock Manor Games. So if you're watching this and you think, I need to pick this up. Every character in the game is some type of Old West character. It's a deck building game, which if you're not familiar with these type of board games, you have a small starter deck of cards, and as you go, you get more cards to shuffle into your deck, and every turn you draw 4 cards, and how you lay down those cards is the actions you can take, because some of them will have a movement point, so you can move 1 space, or it might have 2 punches on it, so you can punch a villain and stuff, or bullets to load your gun. Anyways, this is a deck building game, and it also is, I would call it a storytelling game, because every turn you have what's called an encounter phase. And if I'm at some old ruins, you're going to shuffle up these cards from another deck of cards, and you're going to flip it over. And it's going to give you 3 choices. Are you in the desert? Are you in ruins? Are you in the cursed area? And it's going to give you a scenario. Usually multiple choices, like a choose your own adventure book. And then you have to decide with those couple of cards in your hands, do you use those now to get out of this bad situation, because if you use them now, then it comes around to your turn. You're not going to be doing much. So it's very interesting. You're collecting artifacts. You're collecting bounties. There's different monsters and creatures and zombies, as Jen said. You're doing odd jobs, which could be like turning in the farmer. Like this farmer's corrupt, so you turn him in, and you get to collect some money and stuff like that. You can go back to San Andreas, which is the main town in this story or board game, and then you can go get more jobs, or you can go to the shop and buy a horse that helps you travel. You can buy a cooler gun. You can even buy like potions and stuff that helps you from getting cursed, because in this game, the few and the cursed, obviously, and this is a expansion for it, the deluxe expansion, so it has like more minis and a couple of other characters in it. You can, if you do bad things, sometimes you can get cursed, and you would flip your character card over, and some things are better for you when you're cursed, and some things are worse for you when you're cursed, because you also take damage because you're doing mean and evil things. So from that standpoint of like going around, fighting things, fighting monsters, collecting artifacts, it's a blast. I love the story aspect of it, because it's stuff like you wander on. A guy guy needs your help, but he doesn't look like he's going to make it. Do you drag him back to town to the doctor? If you do, get this. If you don't and just steal his water, you're cursed by 2. So like there's consequences for things. And it was really fun. We got to tease Gary because like there was times where he had no choice because he couldn't solve the problem to do the good thing. So he had to do the bad thing. So like Gary turned in a child to like some slavers for real.
Wow.
In the game.
He didn't have the resources to pay it off, so he got stuck doing the bad
Gary's
stuff.
a terrible person.
Well, what's funny is I've read more about the characters, and he kind of is like the character that guy. Is the kind of a crappy cowboy guy, because he will randomly come up also in the bounties. Did you notice that too, Jen?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's kind of the character.
Also one of the villains.
Yeah, one of the villains. Jen played a little girl who, when she became cursed, with a shotgun, she couldn't. You can also rob other people if you're in the same spot. So we couldn't rob Jen because it won't let you rob kids, I guess, in this game. But she could rob us. But she had a drawback where she couldn't attack the evil crows.
Is it a deal where you're all working together, or you're each working on your own?
Not really. You're on your own. At the end of the game triggers when a big monster comes out, and if he reaches San Andreas before you can stop him, the game's over. All the artifacts are collected, the game's over, and I think there was another thing, and I can't remember the other endpoint. We collected all the artifacts, so the game ended. And you just add up all your points. So every little bounty or creature you kill or job you do or artifact you get is worth points. So anyways, it's a fun little game if you like Western stuff. And I keep wanting to tell people, like, it's like Demon Town in a box. But really, the best way, I guess, to describe it is if you know the game Shadows of Brimstone, which is also kind of like Cowboys and Cthulhu mixed together. It's kind of like that, but you don't have to pull out all your miniatures and build all your maps and roll a bunch of dice. It's a deck building game, but
it does have miniatures.
Yeah, it does have minis.
It does have a board with a map on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's different resources that you have to get, and it does have the storytelling aspect to it.
Dirk, pull me up here, buddy.
There we go.
So I don't know if that kind of helps you out. You can see some of the artifacts here.
Yeah.
Over here.
I like it.
This is the map. You can see the miniatures.
I'd like to get that
here.
just for that box.
Right. I mean, the artwork
no,
is really cool.
You got to open your board games and play them, or you're not allowed to get them. Anyways, it's a really fun game. I'm glad Jennifer liked it. I'm not glad that she ended up beating me. But we won't really talk about that.
I won.
All we need to know is
I beat Scott in a game.
All we need to know is that she won, and that's it. We don't need to know how.
That's really
story
that's
over.
Really the important thing right there.
Yeah.
She had more. Her artifacts were worth a lot more points than mine. We were tied at the end of the game, and then we had to check our artifacts.
Like an excuse.
No, well, it is what it is.
Steve says this sounds like a modern Oregon Trail.
Oh.
You have died being a crappy cowboy.
You do travel and different things happen to you. And
there's a character in there that kind of, when he gets cursed, he turns into a werewolf and stuff. So his deck is designed to get to be the werewolf and then calm himself down.
That's cool.
If he gets the right cards and stuff. So if you like board games, you like very themey board games, this one's for you.
It sounds cool.
If you don't like dice, there's no dice in this. It's all deck building. So
all right.
We give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes.
Gary might not, because Gary didn't do so good. He got the
short end of the stick a lot.
He got boned a lot by the encounters. It's like, you have to do this or you're going to do something bad. And he's like, well, there goes all my water.
Brendan says, Scott, stop justifying your loss. A win is a win.
She beat me. I don't know what. I'm not making any excuses. The fact was, we had the same number of artifacts. Hers were just all had more points to them stuff. Mm-hmm. So
I had more points. Period.
It reminds me a little. That why I asked is if you work together. It reminds me a little bit of that. This War of Mine. Was that
there is a cooperative mode in the game where you can play cooperative, and maybe I have that wrong. There's a solo mode for sure, and there might be a variant rules to play cooperative, because a lot of these games do that.
I think there was. Yeah. We just didn't read anything about the co-op stuff.
Right.
I'd like to play it. I'm convinced.
It's fun. Mm-hmm.
Yep,
there's even like one of those in that expansion. There's like tribes from like the Middle East and stuff where they're coming after their ancient artifacts to recover them that are out there in the desert and stuff. So like you can run into these little armies of people and stuff too. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, good stuff. We just need a Bass Reeves character, Walt. That's what I.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Where do people go to get this thing?
So I got this one on. I went to rockmanorgames.com, and I just ordered it right off there. Now my store, Wizards Asylum, carries it.
It's called The Few and the Cursed.
The Few and the Cursed. You might check out the comic book too. I don't know anything about it. One of the guys who I was with a couple weekends ago, he said he read it. He said there was a lot of strong language in it, and he's not into that. So he's like, it looked really cool, but I'm not into strong language. So he moved on. So it means it might be up some of our alley. Now this thing right here, from what I know, my store could not order this in, and that's why I went ahead and ordered it straight from the website and got it in, because this was important to me to get the extra couple of characters. Otherwise, the game comes with 4 characters. This comes with 2 more characters. So
cool.
Anyways, it's production-wise is really nice. The design of all the cards and stuff, even the little character cards that you put you have like little markers for your health and stuff. They have like indentions in there, so your little marker slides in and out of this like cardboard. I don't know what to actually call it. This cardboard groove. So it's like layered, and it's pretty. The production-wise, besides the theme and stuff, which I like themey board games, the production side's really top notch too, which is why I didn't mind dropping the money to pick it up. So we just got to get to the table more, and I got to get revenge.
All right, if that's it, I'm moving on to the next subject.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Hey, we're going to get 4 subjects in tonight. How about that? Miracles can happen.
Still time for a tangent.
Of course there is. While The Flash will be a solo adventure for Miller's character introduced properly in Justice League, it does sound like the film is planned as the DCEU's way to officially introduce or explore its stream-crossing multiverse. We just talked about that. Perhaps establishing some kind of continuity between its fractured timeline and other incarnations of DC characters, while also propelling more future extended universe adventures. Coming down the pipeline for the DCEU are Black Adam, Aquaman 2, and Shazam. something called Fury of the Gods. I haven't even heard of that. As well as this summer's The Suicide Squad. Speaking of connecting various DC universes together, there's a fresh report from The Wrap indicating that Michael Keaton will indeed be a part of The Flash, reprising his iconic role of Batman from Tim Burton's original Batman and its sequel Batman Returns. While Keaton's bat has long been reported as a potential ingredient in that Flash film, a recent interview indicated that the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic might have put a rest to those plans, but The Wrap reports that Keaton's talent agency, ICM Partners, has confirmed he will be in the movie after all. So here is a case where one of the silly rumors that we've heard for months is actually coming true. Michael Keaton is going to not just be in the film, he's going to play Batman in that film. And so why don't we go to Walt on that subject? How do you feel about that?
I'm actually kind of excited.
Yeah.
I mean, not knowing much of
some
what
people say he's the best Batman.
I can see that. I can see that. That first Batman movie was pretty good. Half of the second one was good. But I'd like to hear more about what this movie is going to be about. Are they actually doing the Flash?
I think it's going to be Flashpoint.
Is it though? I mean,
that's what I think.
I think it's going to be the screwed up DCEU version of Flashpoint.
There you go. That's better.
I think they're going to use Flashpoint as an excuse to F everything up.
It'll be a movie titled Flashpoint is what'll probably be. Right. Because like I've said, I never read the comic Flashpoint. I do know that a lot of people said that it was really good.
Yeah, it was a massive crossover.
It was a massive crossover.
It was okay.
I do know that the animated version of Flashpoint is, when it comes to those DC animated movies, that one is the best one. That's the one that I highly recommend everybody watch. But the only thing, hey Mom, the only thing I can think of is what I would like to see Michael Keaton's appearance as Batman in this movie. I would like to see it as a setup for a Batman Beyond movie and have him playing an old Bruce Wayne
I love that idea.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see.
I mean, no one's talked about that, but
other than that, I'm just, I don't really care what they're going to do with that. Now, you mentioned the Black Adam movie and Shazam 2, was it Power of the Gods or whatever it is? I heard that title. There's not much news about what that movie's about, but I do know that I think The Rock is supposed to be in it as Black Adam. So I'm really looking forward to those two movies. But as far as Flashpoint, I really don't have any opinion about that movie. Aquaman 2, as long as we get more Black Manta, I'm okay, because that was the only character I liked in the Aquaman movie. So yeah, they're going to have to go a long way to really impress me to want to see a DC movie other than.
That's because you can't trust DC.
Exactly.
I tell everybody to relax on these Marvel movies. Just relax. There's no turds. DC, there's turds.
I mean, like I said, Shazam. The Shazam movie to me is my favorite movie, and that puts Wonder Woman second. Yes, that one was my favorite movie.
We still haven't seen that one.
I've watched one. I didn't see it.
Fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't reinvent filmmaking or anything.
It was Shazam.
It was a fun. Yeah.
It was Shazam.
Transmissions.
I own it on Amazon Prime, but we have not watched it yet.
For me, that was Shazam.
I know. Me too.
Scott, I'm going to go to you unless you're busy.
No, I'm fine.
All right.
I'm always busy, man. I got a million peeps to talk to.
Sure. What do you think about Michael Keaton returning as Batman?
So there's several ways to go on this, and the one I like the best is we get a Batman Beyond movie where he is the old Batman.
Yeah,
we could get the.
I'm about 1,000% for that.
Yeah.
What's the Frank?
I don't know.
We could get a Dark Knight story, with him being old Batman from Frank Miller.
That'd be cool.
That's another route. Here's what I think we're going to get.
Although they've kind of done that, unfortunately, in Batman v Superman.
Sure. Here's what I think we're going to get. I think it's definitely going to be a part of Flashpoint. If I remember correctly from reading everything, Flashpoint gave us Thomas Wayne in like another way of like Martha Wayne and Bruce got killed, and it was Thomas Wayne who survived, and he was this mean jerk Batman because he was so bitter. Batman fought his own father in the recent comics just a couple of years ago, so like it's all there from like multi-years.
Who plays Thomas Wayne in the DCEU?
No, I don't.
It's the guy for The Walking Dead, plays Negan. Help me out.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Crap.
Jeffrey Morgan Pierce.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Morgan Pierce. How about that?
The comedian.
We got it together.
All right. So, I mean, I think we could see a bunch of different alternate timelines of Batman. And, he might be in the costume for 3 minutes, folks. So just don't expect to see a whole movie.
Right.
And, and if you do, then great. And if not, whatever. But it wouldn't also shock me if, like, we get this big, we get the heel turn where we see Batman, and then you find out it's Thomas Wayne, and he's that grizzled, bitter guy who hates everything about everything. So
he ends up being the villain.
I'm kind of like Walt. I don't really give a crap, and at the same time, if it comes out, I'll probably watch it. But I don't have any faith in these movies, like
right.
Yeah, I mean they burn through a lot of goodwill.
I need to see some trailers to convince me I'm going to like it, because there has been turds in the Punch Bowl. While Marvel, there hasn't been. It's all been punch, and it's all pretty good flavors of punch. But
yeah.
So I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm not going to get excited right now.
Ronnie says, "Why did you say that name, Scott? Why did you say that name, Martha?" Wow.
Martha must have been a common name back that day.
I guess so.
We talked about this before the show.
Jen, I'm going to you. Are you excited to see Batman back in the?
I like Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah,
I really like him because
you were 6.
I grew up with that, so that's how it was. But I looked today to see how old Michael Keaton is now, and he is 69 years old.
Yeah, I mean.
So now I'm like, are we having a really old Batman? Like, are they going to try to do like a Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, kind of thing?
Right.
Like, is it going to be action packed, and he's going to be doing like the stuntman is going to be doing stuff for Michael Keaton? I don't know if I can go for that part, but I imagine he's probably going to have a small part in this movie. It's not going to be anything huge, I don't think. Especially if it's a Flash movie, then I imagine Flash is going to be in there more. But if he's in there a little bit, I'm down. We'll check it out. But I'm kind of like the other guys. Like, let's see some trailers. Let's kind of see what's going on with this. And then we'll probably end up watching it anyways. But is it going to be on the side of like a crappy DC movie, or is it going to be, one of the better ones?
Crappy Birds of Prey.
This is the perfect movie that got messed up by the pandemic. I mean, they were kind of moving ahead on this thing, and then what's happened over the last year and a few months, put the big stop on it and stuff. I think that Warner Brothers is really just desperate to get to this movie for the purpose of justifying all their stupid crap. Because once they get Flashpoint out, they can literally justify everything. They can say that Batman's young now, or they can, recast Wonder Woman, or whatever they
Right.
want, whatever they want to do. They can have, they can have a Latina Wonder Woman. They can.
Scott doesn't want
they
Wonder Woman
can
to
do
change.
all the Elseworlds. Neither do I. They can do all the Elseworld stories that they want to do, and they can absolve themselves of the sin of not having this stuff in continuity. They
Can I have
finally
different Wonder Woman director?
They could, please. Yes, it's time to admit that Zack Snyder was a major reason why the first Wonder Woman movie was excellent.
Well, the CW pretty much planted that seed with their Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline.
They did, and I think that the Flash movie became what it is because of the success, and because it was kind of like it was a trial run for this sort of thing.
And you know what the main reason why the DC CW universe is working? It's all under one person.
It's run by Greg Berlanti.
Yeah.
Who has been running the thing since the Arrow.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of Arrow, and everything that he has expanded on this has been under his vision or whatever. And they have, and because he's had success after success, they have let him kind of, do this and run its course.
And even he has established that all those shows that he's done are all different DC universes. So,
well, yeah. I mean, for whatever reason, they popped Supergirl. I mean, it was originally run on CBS, but they popped that off into an alternate universe, and for a few seasons she was in another universe, and then finally I think they consolidated
in Crisis on Infinite her. They consolidated her and Black Lightning.
Is Black Lightning in their main Arrowverse?
Yeah, Black Lightning is now officially part of the Arrowverse.
Okay.
He wasn't at first. In fact, he was key.
I don't know why he wasn't.
Yeah,
because it's DC.
Yeah.
I mean, right.
But Stargirl's in a different DC universe. The Doom Patrol's a different universe, and the Titans are a different universe, as well as Swamp Thing. So I think Swamp Thing is in the Titans universe.
Look, this is what the people who are running DC want now. They want it all to be in their own universe, and they don't have to. If they want to do a Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, where it's completely removed from this sort of thing, then they can do that. It's no big deal. It's what they wanted all this time. The problem is that they're robbing us of the wonders of building the continuity and telling a story for a decade. It's over. It's not going to happen. DC is tapping out. They can't compete with Marvel.
It feels like they just go like, we can't do what they're doing. Just forget it. Like they're too lazy. They don't even want to try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like the kid on the street who plays basketball with you, and he always beats you. Instead of going out there and practicing, you're like, I'm just not going to play with that kid.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll go out there when he goes home and shoot hoops because I can't beat him, and I've tried. And I just can't. I don't even want to work harder to try. So forget it.
They're doing their own thing.
In everything, whether you're talking about entertainment or business or anything, you have to find out how to differentiate yourself. And I think that the DC made a huge mistake by trying to do the continuity thing from the beginning, but then not doing it the way that Marvel showed to do it, which is, they went from Man of Steel to the Avengers.
Right.
They went, instead of having, 4 or 5 years of, building those characters up, having individual movies and stuff, they wanted it all crammed into Batman versus Superman.
Well, that's a corporation. They just want to see money instead of taking their time.
They didn't have the patience to build these things, and they made the cardinal sin of not having their own Kevin Feige. They had this thing about, we're director driven. Everything is gonna be different with every director, and it's like, well, then that's not continuity, folks.
Right.
That's a mess.
Right.
That's a mess. It doesn't work.
I mean, like Marvel did, it's director driven, but there's somebody who says, look, this is point A, and then we were trying to get to point B, but you can tell your part of the story within point A and B right here. So just as long as it helps us progress to point B.
I will also say this. A lot of the Marvel movies suffer from sameness.
Yeah.
They would not allow the Baby Driver director to do his version of Ant-Man because it was too far off the range. Right. Whatever that guy had planned, I would have liked to have seen. But I also understand them saying we need to rein this in so that Ant-Man doesn't become some sort of wild thing where people who are used to the Marvel brand go into it and go, what is this? I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Derek Robertson left Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness for exactly the same reason too. He wanted to make a horror movie, and Marvel's like, it can have horror elements in it, but it's a Marvel movie first.
Right.
So that it's a double-edged sword. You're not going to get a lot of experimentation in a Marvel movie. It's not going to blow you away with like, oh my God, I've never seen this thing before.
If it ain't broke,
you also
don't fix
know
it.
what you're going to get. You're going to get heart and the jokes, and you're going to get the action, and it's going to be solid, and there's going to be a good story. That's what you're going to get with that. It's a winning combination. All right, we're going to move on to the next thing, which is On Blast. We got Walt and Scott here. Walt and Scott usually have a lot on blast, although Walt last time did not have a lot. So anyway, I'm going to start on this with Walt. Just tell us what you've been watching or reading or playing here lately.
So I started watching or binge watching actually today the now over done with Blind Spot TV show.
Oh.
So I was
interesting.
Yeah, I was watching it at the beginning and probably got maybe 5 episodes into it and then just kind of lost interest. And so I decided today, like early this morning, I was going to get back into watching it. And so it's an interesting show.
How many seasons are there of that?
5.
Really?
Yeah. Which shocked me because I thought it was canceled or whatever, and then I looked on Hulu and I'm like, wow, it went 5 seasons. Cool.
That's the thing where the girl is tattooed.
Right. And it's Jamie Alexander, I guess, who played Sif, Lady Sif. So
yeah, not bad.
Yeah, so
not a bad selling point.
Not a bad selling point there. Another thing I started watching is the anime series Fire Force, which you can see on Toonami.
Yeah.
That's an actually pretty cool show.
It is.
So got into that, started watching that. As far as anything else, I found these on the these are my impulse buys from the grocery store recently. And we've got this from Life magazine.
What? That is cool.
And it's a very expensive magazine.
Oh yeah.
So but
all magazines are expensive now.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, so it's got all this stuff
so
in
true.
there.
Paper's made out of like pecans now, so therefore they have to be expensive.
And then that was the second thing that I bought, and then the other one was this one.
Oh my gosh.
So this one has half of this book is Godzilla and the other half is King Kong. So there were some really good photographs and stuff in here. So I was like, ooh, I got some drawing inspiration going on here. So picked those up, and I think together both of those combined are like these two magazines right here combined I think are like $30. So
oh wow.
Yeah, I think one was like $14 and the other one was $17. I can't remember. So and I was just like, ugh.
It's a good thing they're really cool.
Yeah.
That is bananas.
Keep them forever.
Yeah, like if I hadn't picked these up, my grocery shopping would have been something like $20.
So you walked out with $20 of groceries, $30 of magazines. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jen, we're going to you next.
Okay, what I've been watching or reading?
Just anything that you want to
buying or
promote or talk about that you think other people might want to know.
I've been reading
There we
Cthulhu Invades Oz.
Very cool.
Stoney Williams was on this show, and he did some coloring on this in part of this.
Contact him soon, actually.
It is awesome. I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan. I've read all the books. The movie is a classic. I try to find comics all the time that are Wizard of Oz things because that's my jam. And so I've been reading on this. It just has a bunch of little short stories. It's really cool. I've heard that they're making a Cthulhu Invades Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be down to buy that as well. Scott bought me this, and I was glad that it came in. So fun story. I keep this next to my bed because I've been reading it, and Cthulhu is glow in the dark. So when I turn my lights off to go to bed,
it glows.
Cthulhu's glowing there. Yeah, so
wow, that's a nice little.
It's
That
just-
must have been a stretch goal.
that's a great image to go to sleep to.
I didn't know that it did that. And the first night I was like, what the hell? No, it's glow in the dark. So,
Maybe it's
really
just magical.
cool. So maybe I got the magical book of that. So I've been reading that.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, I've been reading Redemption. Scott bought me this one. It's a Frank Cho cover. So I've been catching up on that.
Wait a minute. What's Redemption about?
It is like a Wild West lady. She is a retired killer, and there's some action and adventure in that.
All right.
So
it has Mike Diodato art, and I don't know who writes it. So
all right.
Christina Faust.
Well, I don't know who she is.
I don't either, but I like it.
Interesting. All right.
So
Yeah, Jen will not read superhero comics, so
that's okay.
I love comics, but superhero ones don't do it for me. I let Scott do those. I've been reading this Deep Beyond comic that has to do with like under the sea fantasy alien type stuff. I've really enjoyed this.
Like something up his alley.
The art is amazing.
I read a lot of comics that are.
Can we see the art in that?
Yeah, let me just find some random. Like there's the first page.
I like it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I like the color a lot.
I'm holding what? It too close?
No,
you're fine.
You're holding it like a non-comic collector.
Oh my lord!
I didn't fold it in half.
roll it, and put it in her back pocket. That's good.
And then I also read comics that are like this.
Oh, cool!
Like this is one of my favorites right now. Snow Glass Apples. Anything kind of fantasy or fairy tale.
A retelling of something like a classic tale or something.
This is Snow White. This is
it looks
Snow
like
White.
the poison apple and stuff.
Yes.
Colleen Duran is an excellent artist.
Yes, she is.
So, I mean,
I don't have to push Neil Gaiman, do I?
better not.
He's my favorite writer.
page.
So
Who is that guy? Who is that Neil Gaiman guy?
But I mean, the artwork is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I would like to have right there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So those are my types of comics.
You could have cool stuff like that if you dated me, Dirk.
Fair warning.
You're missing out.
That's good. All right. Is that the end of the show and tell?
Yes, those are my comics.
All right. That's good stuff.
What I think is interesting is when I met Jennifer, she already read comics, but in trade paperback form, the collected editions and stuff like that.
Right.
These last like 4 to 5 months, she's been starting to read a lot more of the, as I call them, the floppies, the single issues.
Yeah, you're the guy that introduced that term to me.
Yeah, she's starting to really enjoy that format. And I always said, like, the trades are really cool because you can read a whole bunch at one time, but you miss that magic of what happens in 3 weeks in your mind until the next issue.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yes, you have to go back and say, what happened exactly last issue? You pull it out. You might even reread it. But that space in between, man, creates a lot of awesome things that I think you miss when you read the collected edition trade paperbacks. And would you agree with that now, Jen?
Yes, but here's the reality of it. I'm reading new comics that are the floppies, whereas things that have, the collected ones that have lots of issues on it are the older ones.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, like Gary last week mentioned the collected edition of ElfQuest.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a case where, I mean, yeah, you could go back and collect the individual issues, but man, it's a lot nicer to get that,
to have it all Bible together. And I'm a fast reader.
Both. I have both, so I'm not saying one's worse than the other. I'm just saying, like, I think floppies.
I agree.
You
with
tend
what
to
you're saying, though.
read something and go, "This was really good."
I can't wait for the next one.
You can absorb it
with
a
the
little
anticipation of getting a new one in a couple of weeks. That is fun.
Yeah.
But I also am like, I want more right now. I want to read all of it. Why is it not out yet? So
these damn Jorge Jimenez Batman things are killing me because I can't, like, I will read like a panel at a time and then I'll stop and try to figure it. It's like, how did he do that? What's he doing there? And so reading that is like molasses for me. It's terrible.
I think that's part of it too. When you have the single issues, you kind of soak in the art a little bit more. Otherwise, you're kind of blowing through it because you have 300 pages to read and stuff like that. So, I mean, she was already talking like when Saga comes out, she's like, I ain't waiting for the trade paperbacks. I'm not waiting for the collected editions. I might just have to have both.
Now. I want it now.
Sure. All right, Scott, you're up next.
All right, so I'm on a few things. Gaming wise, I'm excited, and I'm repping the Blood Bowl here because I do a Blood Bowl podcast.
What is that?
This is
before you go past that.
Orc team. This is the Gouged Eye.
Gouged Eye. Nice.
They've been around. The Gouged Eye's been around since I've been in junior high, so that's old school fluff, and I enjoy it. The latest rules supplement with all the extra stuff, crazy balls, more secret weapons, crazy refs, wizards, all this stuff. And a variant to play Blood Bowl in a smaller format called Sevens is all included in this new book that just came out last Saturday. It's called Blood Bowl's Death Zone. Every time they've done a new edition of Blood Bowl, they come out with a Death Zone book. So it's always exciting to get this and read up on it. They also had a new supplement as well. They do these every time they come out with new teams. Mm-hmm. They try to come out with these Spike magazines. And if you enjoy role-playing games because you like to read all the fluff in the background, that's what these are. They have little rules and stuff here, but it also tells you team histories of the teams. This one has the Black Orcs, which is a new team called the Black Orcs. There was an old positional. They're the smarter, stronger, superior orcs. They use their brains versus instead of the regular orcs are kind of like tribes people, but it's like a pack of wolves. The strongest, usually gets his way. These guys are the smart guys, and in the fluff, they decided to forget the other orcs, and they went and made up their own team, and they've been more successful. So we got a Black Orc team finally, and so all the fluff is in there for that. And then we have the rich kids, I think they're called the Imperial Nobles or the Imperial Noble team. They're like the rich kids who decided to get their own team and spend a lot of money because they can. So these teams are also included in the new box set that we we showcased on a Prime review. So it's cool to get all the fluff in the background to these teams, and I always enjoy those. I could care less if they give me new rules or anything like that. I just like hearing the backstory. It makes the Blood Bowl game more of a sports role-playing game. Few comics, and then I'll move on. Star Wars Bounty Hunters. I'm not going to tell you like this is the greatest issue ever, but what I will tell you is they're about to do the next issue, I think, is like the prequel to the Bounty Hunter Wars, which is going to have art by Steve McNiven, which is a great artist. He did the first Civil War stuff for Marvel. He's going to be the artist on that book. It's going to have all the bounty hunters like fighting each other. And it almost sounds like it's taking place, from what I gathered in this issue, after Boba Fett captured Han Solo, on the way to take Han Solo to Darth Vader. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But
are they trying to?
You mean Jabba the Hutt?
I'm sorry. Yeah, as he was taking him to Jabba the Hutt. That's what it kind of sounds like. But
are they all fighting over Han Solo?
They kind of alluded to that, but I'm not 100% sure. Like,
that's interesting.
Solo was mentioned, and it was mentioned that Fett has Solo in this, and it's leading up to it. So if you don't want to be caught off guard, you might pick up the next issue.
That's
of Bounty
a pretty
Hunters.
sweet Bosk illustration.
That is a sweet boss.
They gave him his moment in this. He's kind of pretty badass in this comic. So they gave him his moment. The Bounty Hunters War is coming up soon. It's its own little separate series, and it's going to kind of blend over into some of the other Star Wars comics. Ever since all this crazy stuff has happened this past year, one of the comics that wasn't getting published was this Grendel Devil Odyssey. I think you're reading this, Dirk, as well.
I am too. It's awesome.
Issue 5 came out.
I'm behind.
I'm so happy. It's so good. It's so fun. If you like the old Grendel stuff or any of it, you really don't even need to know anything much about Grendel. It kind of stands on its own.
No, very different tone on that one.
For sure.
The old Grendel was dead serious. This is a little bit more of kind of a
tongue-in-cheek
sci-fi adventure thing.
Yeah, it's good.
Which is cool.
The new Suicide Squad, Tom Taylor, who did Seven Secrets, a book me and Jen are a big fan of. His writing, he had a Suicide Squad run that ended, especially with all the stuff, with DC kind of like semi-folding and getting rid of a bunch of creators. Here's the new Suicide Squad book. It's been featuring Peacemaker, which is John Cena's character in the Suicide Squad movie. I got to admit, I've never read anything from this Robbie Thompson guy who's doing it. And the artist, I can't even begin to pronounce his name. His last name is, I guess, Pancia. Pansica. Anyways, it's pretty good art.
Yeah, not bad.
For a guy I personally never heard of.
Who's the team?
Who's the team? Right now, they just introduced Superboys in this one. Peacemaker's in this, obviously. They have Amanda Waller back in it, and then they had a couple of kind of like small crappy villains that they got to kill off. They killed off everybody but Peacemaker in the first issue. So
all right.
One of the Court of Owls characters, Talon, he's probably going to be a main character. He's also here on the cover. So
yeah.
Anyways, I kind of like where it's going, and I don't read many DC comics because they don't groove me anymore. I mean, 20 years ago, I didn't read many Marvel comics, so times have changed. And I can't, and Jen will probably say the same thing, I can't talk about Carmen enough.
It's amazing.
Jen is shaking her head and smiling as I talk about this right now.
Everyone should read it.
Carmen is by Gillian March. He's the guy who's drawing. He's filled in and done issues of Batman. He's doing the Joker series right now as the artist. He is writing and drawing this. I would love to show you pages, but to be honest, there's one of the characters. We don't know what's happened to her, but she flies around nude as like a spiritual form. And if I say that, you're going to think, oh, it's naughty pornography. It's telling you what, not. If it is one of the most realistic pictures of how a woman's body should look. And
it is tastefully drawn.
It's tastefully drawn.
I mean,
like, all women don't look like the Kardashians in a pose getting airbrushed, let's put it that way. And they have their curves, and it's just natural. And the guy captures the beauty of this, like this character and stuff. She's not overweight and she's not thin, but in some ways this character is like perfect. And just, I wish I could show you some of the imagery. He goes through for in this second issue, like the first 6 pages, there's no words. It's this character getting to go discover the city because she kind of can fly around. So she's like swimming, which I find interesting because in my dreams, if I ever fly or something, I'm just not shooting around. I notice I can do it and I do the swimming motion. So I thought it was very cool in that aspect. Anyways, I don't know where this is going. I have no real clue whatsoever. And probably, I'm assuming if I was female, I'd like this even more, but I don't want to speak as a white guy speaking for females. But maybe Jen could. I think this is magical. This is just an amazing book. It's probably not going to get enough press. It's only 5 issues. Mm-hmm. It is very different. I can't tell you enough how much I like this book. They even have a few sketch pages in the back of like his line work and stuff as he begins. The backgrounds are top notch, everything. This is the book that makes an artist go, why bother? That kid out there, he can shoot basketball better than me. I'm not going to go out there. While he's outside, I'm not even showing up. Forget it. It doesn't matter how much I practice.
I feel that way constantly.
I see how you circled that back.
Yes. Am I saying anything wrong, Jen?
No, it's a beautiful story, beautiful artwork. I am not an artist. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I told Scott I want to get my own copies of these. Like, he can have his copies. I want copies to keep in my house.
She's never done with floppies. She's never done with floppies.
No, this is one that I want. I want to keep it because it's amazing.
I read the first issue as well, mm-hmm. and I blown away with it. Mm-hmm. This guy does both characters and backgrounds really well, and
the cityscape's amazing.
Yeah, I mentioned Neil Gaiman. It feels a little Gaiman-ish.
Sure,
maybe that's why I like it too.
He's kind of exploring some existential stuff. Mm-hmm. It's well paced. Mm-hmm. It's very adult.
He doesn't
by adult, I don't mean like there's sex and stuff in it. I mean it's
it's like real life
very
stuff.
High-minded, stuff that maybe it will. It feels like there's a reward at the end of this. I mean, I felt
there will be. I think this guy will start writing and drawing more things from this.
Like sometimes when I see a movie that's really awesome, that's really different, I will watch it again immediately, mm-hmm. or I will go read on it and try to figure out the intricacies of it and stuff. This comic had that effect on me. Same mm-hmm. effect, where it's like, oh, I want to know what's going on here. I feel like, I need to read it again, and I can't wait for what comes next.
Right. I mean, this is a comic that
special.
When my girls are a little bit older, maybe they go through a few years of college, I hand this over to them and say, just read this for Dad, and we'll talk about it. And he takes no shortcuts on some of these poses, and he really gets the body and the angle and where things should bend, how a lot of times we draw superheroes stiff so they look hot. It's all there and it's all natural. And
when this girl turns, she has rolls right here because that's what your skin does. Even skinny, thin girls have a roll right there. And he shows that in there. It's beautiful.
I feel like there's maybe some photo reference that's going on to get that sort of thing.
It almost have to be because it's really good. And Manera's if people are familiar with Milo Manera's artwork, we'll just end it there. But he does really good poses and stuff too. Gillian March might be, he might be there too, because every time I see his artwork in these poses that he doesn't cop out of and take an easy pose, mm-hmm. And it could be photo reference, whatever. it's just amazing to me. It's like, oh, maybe this is the next Milo Manera for.
I don't mean that to be disparaging.
No.
It's difficult to do what you're talking about, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if someone moves to get kind of, you know, when you're doing stuff off the top of your head, it's very difficult to know all of that.
He's definitely done his work and studied it, and the cityscapes are just breathtaking.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, this guy's now going to get so many. I think if he wants to, I think he's going to get. Don't be surprised to see his own Batman book with him writing it or something like that. If that's the direction he wants to go. What I hope is, I don't know where this is going, but I hope we see, we hope we see more stuff. So
we want more.
Yeah. All right. Well, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. We caught up on Falcon Winter Soldier, so we're all caught up. I think it's really good. I can't believe people are really mad about Captain America. Like, do you guys really? I mean, come on, people. Everybody, you're spoiled. Just relax. Anyways.
People lose their mind on
Did y'all talk about everything in Winter Soldier? Because I wanted to talk about, did y'all see the seeds of planting the Thunderbolts?
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
Okay.
We talked about it, but go ahead.
I was real excited about, Zemo's real origin is much different than it is in the Marvel MCU, but that's okay because he thinks he's doing the right things. And them sending him to the raft immediately, I was watching with Jen and I smiled and I was like, oh, we might have a Thunderbolts movie, where he gets some, Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad,
Right.
So.
The Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character is also connected to Thunderbolts. So, I mean, they're definitely moving in that direction.
Shield and Madam Hydra and all that. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things. Anyways, the floor is yours.
What Scott's talking about is Walt and Beth and I talked about Falcon and the Winter Soldier at 3:00 in the afternoon on Friday when it dropped. So that we could, instead of kind of dealing with old news and that sort of thing, it allows us to, drop some spoiler stuff and, explore it fully and stuff right there when it's happening. So when it's new news and people hopefully just saw it and they want to talk about it, we put that out there. And we'll do it again on the final episode on Friday as well. It was fun to talk about it and get it out there and hopefully do it at a time when it's relevant, because by Saturday it's old news and by Sunday it's dusty and by Monday it's ancient.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Internet's already abuzz with
the internet. I mean, that's just the way the internet.
Yeah, I might have to come down there and slap Walt's hands if he keeps going, oh my God, I can't believe they.
Hey, I didn't do that this week, so.
I know. I'm really giving you a hard time. If I really cared that much, I would just watch. I'd make it a priority to watch the first day. And they're going a lot of directions where I thought they would go with John Walker and all that stuff. And I'm okay with it. It's pretty cool. It's different. I mean, I think it's unfair that some people say it's boring and stuff. It's different. And I think if this came out before Scarlet Witch or WandaVision, I think people would have really loved it. And then they've been whining again about how Scarlet Witch was different. Everybody whined at WandaVision was so different at first. And they forget that they ended up relaxing watching it, and it turned out to be really good.
So. These series are a case where it breaks a little bit of that paradigm that I was talking about, where Marvel movies, approach things a certain specific way.
Right.
WandaVision did not do that, and some people were like, where's the punching? Where's the explosions? I don't get it.
Jennifer likes the counselor character.
I do too.
I do too. I want those scenes. I want the scenes. I mean, I went into a rant on Friday about this subject, which is just to summarize, let Marvel tell their story. This is a wonderful bounty that we've been given. Just relax and enjoy it. Speaking of a couple things that I have enjoyed over the past week, I have been finally getting caught up on Umbrella Academy. For 2 years, people have told me, Dude, I think you would like Umbrella Academy. You really need to watch this. You know, I put it off, and then I didn't have Netflix for a while, and I finally am watching it, and I'm about maybe 3 episodes away from the final part of the 2nd season, and wow, yeah, this show is really good. It's funny and weird, super weird, and has all the kind of funky science fiction elements like time travel and stuff that I like. The characters, though, are so amazing. My God, the characters are really what makes this thing, and the way that they play off of each other, all of the the family or whatever. And in the 2nd season, we get a lot more of the dad, and how he's messing with their heads, and he's such kind of a jerk face character. For his reasons, I guess. I really, really enjoy Umbrella Academy. It's so good. So all of the people who said you really must see this, they know me pretty well. Sean was one of those people I know, that lobbied for this so severely. It's really a good show. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. And I think that there's going to be another season of that coming up here pretty soon.
I think you talked to me about it when I was watching it, because I talked about how great it was, and you were like, I need to watch that. And I said, yes, you do. It's awesome.
I have this bad thing where I won't finish a series if I really like it, so I'm going to try to plow
Stick
through
it out.
I know.
Stick it out.
I still have not watched the final episode of the 1st season of Altered Carbon.
What?
Because I like it so much.
You don't want it to end.
I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
And I got another season. And I don't know. I got issues. The second thing that I want to talk about.
Hold on, Dirk. Hold on. We got an old man here. Let's put this up so Ronnie can tell Jen goodnight, because he's
Are we going to put him to bed?
It's almost bedtime.
We're putting Ronnie to bed.
He had a tapioca pudding, and now it's time for bed.
Oh, my Lord. Okay, so Ronnie says early bedtime for the last few weeks and several coming weeks. Great show, y'all. Thanks for being a part of the show, Jen.
Good night, Ronnie.
Good night, Ronnie.
Do we have something else there?
I think Sean is talking about
number 5.
Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, he's a big fan of number 5. I like the guy who sees.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, number 5 is fantastic. He's an old man, but he's in the body of like a 13-year-old boy.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's why Sean likes
like
it.
A little Stewie.
I like Stewie. That's cool.
He is. And the actor plays that role perfectly, and he's also probably the most powerful of all of the characters, and also probably the smartest, and also the biggest smartass. He's great. My favorite character is the guy who sees dead people and stuff. He is such a crazy cat.
Yeah.
And
Haley Joel Osment,
so flawed. He's such a flawed character, but also so open and loving and stuff. I just really enjoy that character so much, and he's so unusual. I mean, I can't think of any other character that's quite like that character. I really like that. Anyway, I love that show. I love Umbrella Academy. It is it's just as good as everyone told me it was, for sure. The second thing, and I'm just got started on this, is I'm watching the 1995 version of Gundam. I have never watched that before, and for whatever reason, I think I resubscribed to Hulu or whatever, and saw that on there, and I thought, I'll try it out. I'll see what's going on. Oh, Gundam's good. Yeah, what do you know? Gundam is pretty doggone good. And it's more than just, like people in mech suits fighting each other. There's a lot more going on here, folks. It reminds me, and this is the best compliment that I can give it. It reminds me of Star Blazers, in that it's very complex. You got a lot of different characters going on. There's a much bigger storyline that's going on. It's very political, and it also has a lot of really great characters that they're exploring in this thing. I think, so far I'm only 3 episodes in, But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's pretty good. What comments do we have here? We got so many comments. Sean says that Klaus is very odd. Klaus is the guy I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's very odd, but 5 is the leader they need. Oh yeah, I mean for sure.
Yeah.
They're all, I mean, Klaus is definitely not the leader.
No.
He's anything but the leader.
He's the free spirit.
He is an F up. I mean, you know, in the most wonderful way. But yeah, he certainly shouldn't be, you know, running the show. 5 is definitely the one who should be running the show for sure, and is the person that, at least in the second season, he's, you know, the person who's on the problem. He's trying to resolve it while everyone else is trying to kind of live their own life and stuff. Number 5 is the person that's like, I gotta save my family.
Right.
You know? And yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't seen the end of that either, but I hope that we get another season on that sort of thing. And anyway, I've said my fill on that. Does anyone have anything else they want to add? We don't have any more comments.
No, ready for, is it promo time?
It's promo time. Let's get on with it. Scott, we're going to go to you first now.
Okay. You can catch me over at bothdown.com, where I do a Blood Bowl podcast almost monthly. We kind of broke that streak with with that crazy work schedule I had. We missed a month for the first time in like 10 years. So it happens.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
but there's some months.
Years,
but there's some months we put out multiple episodes, so we still average a monthly thing.
1 in 10 years is pretty good.
Yeah, so we missed a month, but that's okay. Life happens, right? But there is more episodes than there is months that we have done that podcast. That is for sure. You can, like I said, you can catch me over at bothdown.com for more. Find out about Blood Bowl, our love for it. You can find me at Real Scott Prime over on Twitter and, you know, Facebook. I'm also Scott Prime. Real quick, I want to give this little shout out to Steve Risk, who's been on the show multiple times. He's doing a Kickstarter for a Super Show comic, issues 1 and 2 of the comic. He does a Kickstarter every year, usually for like his card game. This time they're doing comic books based off the card game. So if you're interested at all, you can check it out there. And I'll leave that there for
that link is almost worse than our YouTube link was before we got 100 people following us.
I'm sure there's a shorter link out there.
To Steve Resk and to everyone else, if you're going to do a Kickstarter, get a URL and forward it to that Kickstarter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is.
In addition to that, let me also say something. Since you're plugging for Steve, he contacted me through Facebook and said, "Would it be all right if I, post the Kickstarter on the Taskforce Geek group?" Dude, no one has to. What is it?
Yeah, just do it.
There's a shorter weird link.
Okay, that's better. That's a lot better.
To go
Holy
to
cats. So much better.
Really, just go to, if you're a Kickstarter person, go to Kickstarter, put in Super Show, the comic, and it will pop up, or even just Super Show because it's an active thing. It's already made its goals. There's a lot of stretch goals already made. So
it made its goal in like a day, didn't it?
Under 2 minutes, actually.
Jeez.
So there you go. There's a lot of there's a lot of Super Show fans that are very loyal to Steve and his people. So yes, they funded in under 2 minutes, and they're still going. There's 4 more days left. They have over 200
that doesn't
backers.
happen often, folks, and that wasn't one of those deals where he undercut it. Like he put the goal as $100, so he automatically hits it.
No, his goal was 7,000, and he made it in under 2 minutes. He's sitting over $18,000 right now. So, anyways, if you're interested in that stuff whatsoever, I know people like to hear about other guests that we've had on and their projects. So I'd like to just give a quick shout out to that and stuff. And I heard that Doug Wood is already started the process of the Big Hype, Project Big Hype number 2. So very excited about that. So
back to Steve Resk. He contacted and said, would it be all right if I put this in the Task Force Geek group? That is why I created the group in the first place. That's why this show exists in the first place. We want everyone who's doing independent comics or games or whatever it is, anything that they want to
Yeah, your dream. Go do it.
over there and post it in the group, please, right now.
No need to ask.
No need to ask. We want it. We need it in the group. It's right there. Put it in that group, and we'll all like it and comment on it and appreciate it. And we're always looking for guests too on these things. So don't be so shy about it. That's what it's there for, folks.
I did see some the character art. You helped me color a few pieces, Dirk. I might have said this last episode. I got to see that those things came in.
It's about us.
Yeah, it came in. It came in. So
always.
Hopefully soon I'll have that card in my hand of those
cool,
characters.
Yeah.
So
I want to see it. There's nothing quite like seeing stuff printed. It's something about that's pretty wild. Yep. Jen, do you have anything you want to push? I don't have any links for you, but
nope. You can find me through Scott if you. Lord knows I'm around him enough. So
fair enough. That's true.
Is that a bad thing? Oh, you adore me. No. Come on now.
No, that's a good thing. We'll be in some TV shows and playing some games, reading comics.
Fair enough. All right, Walt, you're up.
As normal, you can find me at, let's see if I can remember if I can get all these down. You can find me at whatstudioart.blogspot.com. You can also, it is a mouthful. As you can see right here, this new thing right here, actually it's not new, but you can go here. I've cleaned out my store. I've got some new t-shirts in there. In fact, if you've been to the Facebook group, you'll see that I've started my Robo Girls series. Finally got that first show
cool piece, Walt.
done, which is I'm
cool.
I'm basically doing anime girls cosplaying as some of my favorite robot characters from things.
That's a winner.
So check that out. And then the other thing I have my What Studio Walter Cons What Studio Presents Walter Cons Facebook group page. You can go there. That's where I post the updates. That and the blog posts are where I post most of the updates of the artwork that I'm doing. So check it out.
Awesome.
That's good stuff. You shared. You also did a piece of Scott that we're going to be putting up on our own little deal here pretty soon. I'm kind of waiting for the redesign on the logo before I kind of send people over there. But as soon as we do, we'll have that. It's a Spicy King shirt.
I'm sure the Spicy King shirt's going to be a bestseller.
That is going to blow off.
Hey,
it's going to be like hotcakes, man.
Dude, that'd be awesome going to Comic-Con and just some guy walk up and like he'll look over at me and I'll look over at him and we'll just kind of like
I'll wear a t-shirt with your picture on there.
See?
Spicy King.
See?
Hey, yeah, I do know that Steve's going to be wearing one. I mean, since he coined the name, so
there you go. Speaking of Steve, he says, "Well done, folk. Another grand evening. Good to meet you, Jen."
Hi, Steve.
You're getting a lot of love, Jen. That's all I can say.
What's not to love?
Jerry says, "Can't wait for the Spicy King shirt." See?
Oh,
yeah, Jerry will wear one too.
Hotcakes. How about this?
We should just have like
Jim
a
says,
party.
I gotta have me a Spicy King T-shirt, man.
And Jim,
we need to have a party. We can all Winnie the Pooh it. We just have Spicy King shirts on. It's up to you how long you want it or not. I'm all down for like being around the house with just a T-shirt and no pants. So like we need a pool party like this.
We know you are, Scott.
I tell you, that Spicy King shirt's gonna be hot, dude. It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna sell out.
It's hotcakes.
It's gonna be hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's hotcakes.
It's gonna be hot.
All right, if you're interested in what I got going on, go over to Ranking Studios. You can also see Scott's artwork on there. And Sean, who's not with us tonight, but go to rankingstudios.com. We're all on there, plus Robert. That's important. I am on Twitter at Dirk Hooper Plus. I'm on LinkedIn at Dirk Hooper Plus. I'm on TikTok at Dirk Hooper. Can you believe that? and I'm on Facebook at.
If you start
Derek
making
Cooper.
videos, I might punch you in the face.
Derek Cooper. I'm going to do things where I'm dancing and I'm wearing outfits and I'm doing quotes from like Dave Chappelle.
I will say this: TikTok's good for cat videos that Jen shows me, and those Wish commercials where he's like, "This is what I ordered. This is what I got."
Yeah.
I love those.
If you want to see videos of me dancing and stuff, I mean, they're all right there.
Gosh,
What
you
I'm
better be
putting is
lying.
what I'm putting.
That's what I want to see right there.
What I'm putting is art process videos. So
Okay.
if I do a piece of art, I put a little music behind it, and you can see the piece of artwork from beginning to end.
Okay,
And
that's much
occasionally
better.
I'll take like a quote
Dance.
or something
Oh.
and talk about it. And sometimes I will put on kitty ears and dance.
Oh gosh,
I'm waiting for those.
I'm doing a lot of that
I can't hit you hard enough.
because that is the thing to do on TikTok.
Me and Sean might have to put a pillow over your face until you stop moving.
You're gonna have to start creating some new line dances. That's what you're gonna have to start
Yep.
doing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Gigi
There's a few
says-
more comments here.
Gigi says, Scott, the show has been better than a Reba marathon.
Man, I'm kind of a fan of the first Reba show, but
Kind of a low bar.
yeah, well, that's not a bad show. The girl who played Cheyenne was pretty cute.
Oh, now we're getting this kid.
Yeah, there you go.
Now we're getting this.
Jim also says
Sean
this.
gets on to Sean gets on to me for stuff like
Thanks, Jim.
that. For liking things because I like someone who's on the show.
Well, you're gonna have a new follower on TikTok there. Steve's coming too.
You gotta get that. Whoa, wait a minute. Here's Maxine that says she'll be the senior citizen wearing the Spicy King t-shirt.
Hot senior
We're all doing
citizens at my pool party. No pants. This is a thing. I'm telling you. All the money can go to charity.
Sean's definitely ready for the pillow.
I feel like I'm going to be expected to like throw this big birthday pool party for Scott next year.
There's
I
so
didn't even
much.
say it was a birthday party. I just said a party.
I mean, it doesn't have to
Just
be
a
next
party.
year. I mean, any day could be Spicy King Day.
That's true.
Any day can be spicy.
Any day.
Or
We can
what's-
do it this summer.
We can
Yeah.
find
I'll
out
start
the first day
planning.
that Steve mentioned it. And then we-
Right.
It'll
That'll
be the
be
anniversary.
It was probably not that long. It was probably about a year ago. I'm re-sharing those original things on
I
The
think that's
anniversary's coming up.
right now, and it's funny to see how how we've changed and how the show has changed. It's been pretty crazy. Steve's there. He's ready.
I'll start
And
coming
Maxine
up with the
goes,
invitations.
Maxine's there too. So, like, Walt,
Now it's a
this
real party.
she can't be your mom. She's just one of the gals. You got to remember that, right?
Jerry says we know someone with a pool.
We do, but will you let us
just
not
saying.
have pants on? That's the key.
Is that what needs to happen more than anything?
We need the pool rules. You just wear a shirt. How long is up to you?
Hey, if you want to get in your comments, get it in now. We're going to wrap this thing up here soon. And
It's like
if we get 3 comments after the show is over, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
we thought this was a Zoom party. That commercial.
Yeah.
Yes, no doubt. Does anyone have anything they want to add before I wrap this thing up?
No, it's nice to have Jen on here. It's nice to have my buddy on the show too. So
Yeah,
Nice
thanks
talking
for
to you,
the
Jen.
thanks for the invitation, guys. It's
Uh,
been fun.
Jen, you're welcome back anytime.
Okay.
as you can see,
I think it would be fun to get you in the same frame as Scott
I'll be
Okay.
at Scott's house next time.
sometime.
We'll
It doesn't
sit next
have
to
to
each other.
happen. You can be at your house doing this as well.
Okay.
But it would be cool to have you both in the same frame sometime. I just think that would be an
It would give it
interesting
a neat little component.
Something a little
Jen-
different.
Jen is not as vocal as me. As you can tell, I'm kind of the
No one is as vocal as you.
He's the extrovert. I am the introvert,
and yet I hate people.
and we make a good pair.
Spicy King, remember? Spicy
See?
King.
That's funny,
Exactly.
'cause I love people, but I'm an introvert. So there you go.
Me and Hoop, we have that in common.
I'm an introvert too, by the way. So
Look at that.
I was going to that.
white loafers,
Like loafers. Ouch.
or the deck shoes.
Barefoot.
All right, folks. We sure do appreciate you dropping by to see us. Please, if you see this on YouTube, please leave us a like on there or a comment for whatever reason. People love comments. The algorithm loves comments on YouTube. That's what they're really taking as the big deal. Thanks, everyone, for watching once again. Thanks also for everyone who chimed in. We always appreciate that. So that's it for Jen, who hopefully will come back sometime soon.
See you soon.
For Scott, for Walt. Until next time, this is Dirk Hooper saying, saying dream hard.